Hello and welcome to Heavy Metal Wrex. My name is Waits, and today, finally, our CVT brethren can join the rest of us in the tuning world. Yes, that's right, Cobb Tuning finally released tuning support for the 2022 and presumably the 2023 CVT/SPT. So if you've been waiting for this, don't even worry about the rest of this video. Just go get yourself an AccessPort. For the rest of you, if you guys want to learn more information, let's check it out. Before I begin, I do want to let you guys know that I do have a website, heavymetalwrex.com, where I sell some cool merch like this shirt here and a couple of stickers and a couple of other things like hoodies, tank tops, and stuff like that. I am working on making a beanie for winter. It's still in the works, but as soon as I have it, I'll let you guys know. And also, I do have the memberships turned on my YouTube channel. If you are looking for a way to support the channel, this is the best way to do it. All right, so it's been a little bit, I'd say almost 1 year since the 22 WRX received tuning support from Cobb. Before that, many people were using the JB4, and I think right now, most of the people that have a CVT are currently still using a JB4 and making some pretty decent power. Now, obviously there's pros and cons for both, but if you want to look at simplicity and kind of just going a little bit further than what the JB4 can offer you, Cobb is the way to go. Now, there has been a lot of conversation on whether the CVT or the SPT in this case can handle the extra torque, how well is it, where can it go? After seeing the numbers, I am not surprised how far they went with this, but really, this is just the OTS that we're going to be talking about. The real bread and butter is who is going to be the first few people to take their CVT to an actual tuner and get it modified with hard parts, front mount intercoolers, all kinds of jazz. And then I'm looking forward to seeing if anybody decides to throw one of the ETS turbo kits on a CVT. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming out here in the next few months, or even probably a few weeks, because I know people have been waiting for this for a very long time. Anyway, I want to hop into what Cobb specifically has given us. And again, remember that this is the OTS map. These are just what they think that everybody should be using at a baseline that's relatively safe for thousands and thousands of cars. So keep that information in mind. And what I also want to do is I want to compare what the 6-speed OTS look like versus the CVT. There's a lot to unpack here. So first things first, CVT is supported. So you are being supported with the 22 WRX and the 23 WRX. This time there's no difference between the two. I know before the 23 did have to wait for tuning support for the 6-speed. They do have a couple of things listed now. Okay, they have a separate page for the map notes, but what they do is a lot of these numbers are off of a Mustang dyno, but what's more important is the percent increase over power, so I wouldn't really worry too much about the numbers, but I will tell you when I did do my virtual dyno run and then tested it on the actual dyno, the OTS map was very close to what they had originally indicated that it was going to be. So rest assured that even if you do some calculations between the Mustang dyno and the dyno jet, it's going to be pretty much what they're saying it is. So here we go. VB CVT WRX stock versus tuned. They do have numbers for 91 and 93, and what I love this time around, because it was really confusing last time, they actually let you single out the individual charts, which is kind of nice. Now all of a sudden it's not working here. There we go. You can actually single out the individual chart and see what that number is. So just reading off of this map right here, this is, where's the stock one? So here's the stock one. Apparently, they were getting about 218 torque with up to 228 pound-foot torque on the stock map. And the HP was somewhere around 235-ish, which, again, to be fair, even though this is a Mustang dyno, that's higher than a VA WRX, which dynoed at like 220, just saying. So already that stock is a little bit ahead. So now if we look at the 91, let's see, 91 is a light blue. So here's what they got out of 91 is about 260 pound-foot torque. So that's a decent amount of a jump. They have the percentage down below, which we'll look. And then horsepower they got, which one is it? The light red or the dark red? So this is the light red. And they got this up about 249, a peak of 249. That's pretty respectable. So now from 93 we're looking at, which is the darker blue, that's this guy here. They got a peak of 276 torque on the 93 map, and horsepower we're looking at about 252. So right where like the horsepower meets the torque. So about 251 is what they're looking at with a peak of like 259. So that's what we got with the OTS map. Remember, this is OTS only. This is not protuner, nothing special. So the percent increase they're talking about over stock is 20% increase in torque and about a 10% increase in horsepower, which is that's, again, it's just a tune. And I'm sure this is incredibly conservative. Of course, they have a higher max because it looks like they did calculate a couple of things from different parts of the dyno. So different parts of the RPM. So here they've got it calculated at 5200 RPM, which is usually, it's like 52, where like the horsepower and the torque meets. That's kind of where everybody calculates it. But this is something that you would feel a lot more right as when the turbo kicks in. This is the part that's fun with turbo cars. So the turbo is kind of spooling somewhere around 3,000 to 3,200 RPM, and where that's happening, you are seeing a 26% increase in torque and 26% increase in horsepower at that moment. Most people, if you're not just like, ringing out the car all the time, if you're just like little bursts here or there, you're going to feel that. You are definitely going to feel that over stock. So they do list a whole lot of stuff about the drivetrain here, and there is more of a loss in power through the CVT drivetrain. Now, what I want to do is I want to look at the 6-speed when that first came out and compare the two. So we're looking at a, where was it? It was about 276 torque and 258 horsepower is what they are claiming at this time for the OTS map. So how much further back is that from the 6-speed? So I remember when I dynoed it, I was getting about 295 horsepower and about 315 torque. And that's very close to what they had listed here, because here you can see 298 is what they had at, of course, at maximum RPM, and 310. So if you're, let's say it was like 390 and 305, maybe, like that you were getting, plus or minus 5 horsepower from your differences, your car, your gas, whatever. That's still very respectable. Now they do have like the whole map notes here where they can compare the stage 1 that they have for the VA or the VB, which is just pretty much just stock and a catback. They do obviously have the stage 2, which is the top mount intercooler, the intake pipe and the charge pipe, which you can get, and it has increased the power a decent amount over I think it's making like 360 pound-foot, yeah, about 360 pound-foot of torque and about 327 horsepower, which is quite good. And I know Tanner over at Invidia, I thought that he was tuning with the Cobb parts. I haven't heard anybody else. I know Felix Performance did a tune with just those stock parts as well. I'm going to try to find that and throw it up here so you guys can see the difference between that. Cobb did say that they're working on a map to use those parts for the CVT as well, so that's something you guys have to look forward to. Down below here, we have the CVT stock versus 93, which is so nice that thank you, Cobb, for fixing that, because that was a big deal when the VB tuning first came out. Reading those maps were very confusing, and I appreciate them separating them out for people, especially people like me. I get confused. I was already confused, and the fact that I can like click on each one, that's very nice. That's really helpful. So a decent amount of power bump over the CVT, the 6-speed gets. 258 versus 290-ish. And then with the torque is like 275-ish versus 310 torque. It's a good amount. But really, we all knew that the CVT there was going to be some limiting factors to that CVT. Now, Cobb themselves say that the new CVT is pretty damn strong. Compared to the older CVT, realistically, we're going to have to wait and see what the aftermarket support really looks like, and when these tuners actually get their hands on these cars. I'm confident. Graham will probably tune a few and he'll let us know. Anthony or D-Man will tune a few. I'm sure Felix will post a couple of videos and a couple of clips online. Clark Tuning will have one. So as soon as all these things start popping up, all these cars start popping up, I will do a revision video. We'll collect all this data and we'll look at it. As of right now, again, welcome, guys. Let me be the first to welcome you to a whole lot of fun, and I hope your transmissions don't blow up. As the same thing I say even to the 6 speeds, guys. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Before you go, if you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hitting that subscribe button costs you guys nothing, and it gains me everything. I try to provide as much entertainment and information as possible, whether you're looking at my racing series, Vehicular Acceleration Testing, or you're looking at Tuner Talk, which is actually a great series for newcomers and veterans. My only goal is to try to make the VB community better, and I can't do that without your help. Thank you.